This is the nurse that did the last dialysis on my mom. As you guys can see, he cannot even write his name properly. I don't know if his name is Joey Lapioto, Lapiato. I don't even know. I wanted to know his name so I can report him to the board of nursing, but again, I not even know how his name is because he not even know how to write well. Okay, so he is the nurse that again gave the last dialysis to my mother. On a previous occasion, he basically did my mom's dialysis, and he did not change a dressing, a contaminated dressing, the dialysis, the lines. So the next day, another dialysis nurse came and he was arguing with Aneka, another nurse, the floor nurse of Fort West. And the dialysis nurse told Aneka why did she not change the dressing, the contaminated dressing from my mom. And Aneka stated that it was not the responsibility of the floor nurses to change the dressing, but the responsibility of the dialysis nurses. So basically, they had an argument. They were arguing and fighting in front of me. So basically, the guy told Aneka, you know what? Well, give me the name of the nurse that did not change the dialysis dressing, because this could have incurred into a huge septic situation for the patient. So basically, Aneka refused to provide the name, and guess who was the nurse that did not change the dressing? It was this nurse, Lapioto, the Joe Lapioto, whatever, the nurse that murdered my mother with his negligent behavior. As you guys can see on his documentation, he basically wrote that my mom had good vitals the entire, dialysis session. As you guys can see, he lied. It's a very clear lie, because if you do not have a functional blood pressure machine, how did he record all those acceptable blood pressure ratings? It does not make any sense. Also, on his documentation, he wrote that my mom had a very low blood pressure, and that's the reason why she went into code blue. I mean, he's clearly lying. And again, Dr. Risby protecting her employee to avoid liability against her company. Okay, clear conflict of interest. Clear conflict of interest. City of Hope should not contract doctors that they have their own companies, providing dialysis treatment to patients that they treat. That's a huge no-no. City of Hope is making a huge mistake in that matter. Okay, why? Because the treatment that the doctor provides is gonna be influenced by his or her own personal interest. In this case, with Dr. Risby. Be careful with her, because she's gonna lie. She's gonna basically, I don't know why her company is subcontracted by City of Hope, her dialysis company, and I don't know why she basically treats patients having a conflict of interest. Okay, as you guys can see, uh, es Arifa Rispi. So that's that's one of her family members, and the company that gave dialysis to my mother, the manager is called Es Arifa Rispi. So that person most likely is related to Dr. Rispi. Okay, so they have an annual income of 700, almost $1 million every year. Okay, so they don't care about us. She works in California kidney specialist, so be careful. They don't care about us. They just care about revenue. And it was very clear when she refused to provide the best care to my mother, and basically refused to provide CRRT because for her, because when by my mother receiving CRRT, her company was not gonna make any money because she owned the company, the intermittent hemodialysis uh, machines. She did not own the CRRT machine. The hospital owned the CRRT machine. So basically, for her, it was easier to not took off my mother from intermittent hemodialysis to not lose money. Okay, so she is a deceiver. She only cares about money. She does not care about patients. Be careful with her. Over here, you guys can see the difference between hemodialysis and CRRT, which is called continuous renal replacement therapy. Okay, so this CRRT dialysis is less aggressive because it doesn't pull as much water from the body, hence not affecting the patient's low blood pressure as much. Uh, the CRRT, like in this hospital, is only located in ICU. But they did not want my mom in ICU because they do so many surgeries a day that they don't have enough space in ICU for all the patients. And that's very easily, proved because my mom was moved from ICU to a regular floor constantly, all the time. Okay, so when my mom went into code, basically she died because she did not have a pulse. Basically they had to move patients around from ICU, probably patients that they were not ready to discharge from ICU. They pull somebody out so they can put my mom in. So they just play with patients like they're toys in that hospital. Okay, as you guys can see in this is a part of a letter that the hospital sent me, and they told me that the administration, basically they told me that my mom did not qualify for CRRT, the less aggressive, hemodialysis. Why? Because my mom allegedly was stable, was hemodynamically stable. Okay, they stated that CRRT is only for patients that are not stable. That's the reason why my mom did not qualify for CRRT according to the Foundation of Kidney Disease. However, a doctor's note from Dr. Risby states that my mom was not stable. He was hemodynamic unstable, which means that she was not stable. Okay, and she states that she did not qualify for CRRT because she was not stable. Okay, the hospital states that my mom was stable. Dr. Risby stated that she was not stable. Who was right? Who to listen? This is the reason why I believe that Dr. Risby only looked for her own personal interest to make money off of my mother. Okay, it's very clear in these two proof. Okay, it's very clear. The hospital stated that my mom did not qualify for CRRT dialysis because she was stable. Dr. Risby says that she was not stable, that's the reason why she didn't qualify for CRRT. Contradiction. People, look on your paperwork documentation. These contradictory notes you can find, okay? So you can make the hospital liable for their lies and their deception.